All right, guys, let's get to our next topic. It's brought to us by FanDuel. The NFL season is here. FanDuel is an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to download the FanDuel app today and get started. All right, guys, we were going to talk about this yesterday. We ran out of time, but it still applies to today's panel and today's conversation. We had talked early in the season, Jay and G, you guys specifically harped on how good the Browns defense was early on. Completely stymied the Green Bay offense. They held the Bengals to just 17 points in the opener. We were very impressed, and some of you even mentioned the word elite when referring to the Browns defensive unit. Bull never went that far. To his credit, Bull never went that far. But some of us, and Tyvis, who's not here, we're also part of the category mentioning them as an elite unit. After what we saw against the Pittsburgh Steelers, G, can you still consider this Browns defense an elite unit, or is some of the shine from earlier in the season worn off?
Here's what you got to understand about defense. As a former defensive player, 90% of defense is attitude, want to, hustle, intensity, physicality,
effort.
Yeah, that's it. Show any defense that's great. I'll show you a defense that has all those traits, and they bring that type of energy to practice. They bring it to the games, and they bring it to the other opponent. However, you know what the kryptonite to any of those things are? An offense that is not actively pulling their part, but even worse is an offense that is actively hindering them. So when you have to play that way, emotionally, physically, mentally, and you can't make mistakes, you got to play hard every single time, and you beat up because you're on the field all the time, and you know your offense can't score points, you get what Myles Garrett has right now. Myles Garrett can wreck games at will, seemingly. But right now with Myles Garrett is his spirit is diminished. You go to his life points. Denzel Ward's life points is diminished. He's like, yo, you're a grown man. You like, I was crying during the middle of the week because my teammate got traded. Myles Garrett, like, man, how does it feel when you watch T.J. Watt on the other side consistently win, and you feel like you're a better player than him, and they win? Now, listen, am I crying for him? No, listen, at the end of the day, they both got extensions. They got the money. They'll be rich forever. But the reality is being rich forever don't have nothing to do with the effort and the energy that it takes to put on that football field. And Joe Thomas will tell you, after a certain point of time, you just don't have no more. And when that tank is empty, and that's the best part of your team, you're in trouble. To answer your question, do you still consider the Browns an elite defense? No, absolutely not. Because what it takes for you to be an elite defense is all the things we mentioned, and that's not there. And Jim Schwartz is even chirping a little bit on accident. He's like, man, come on, you done traded my best corner. I got to play man coverage with a new dude all week. That takes away from it. And the worst thing, we've seen this before. The worst thing ever, you go back to them Buddy Ryan teams. When Buddy Ryan start getting his defenses popping, and it was the Buddy Ryan versus the rest of the team, you ain't coming back from that, even if that team is great. You need to be unified, because when the players start having players only meetings on the defensive side of football, it's all she wrote for the coach.
Yeah, I don't disagree with one single thing you said there. It is effort, and I always equate it to the tug of war. Unfortunately, Myles Garrett is your anchor. He's your strongest guy. He's on the back end of the rope. When the anchor lets go, the tug of war is over. The rope flag gets pulled to the other side. And I'm not convinced that everybody has let go of the rope yet.
Yeah.
But to your point, G, and I mentioned this on Monday, and I just keep bringing it up because it has a lot of similarities to what I'm seeing now. I used to watch the Buccaneers in 96, 97, 98, 99. They had great defenses, and they were scoring 12 points a game. And
I remember that.
It is a battle of attrition, and you could see Warren Sapp's energy just leaving his body at the end of a game. And Derek Brooks, these are guys that were winners, but they were constantly watching their other half underperform. And then they're asking themselves, what more can we do? And I literally feel like the Browns have played a couple games defensively where they should have won, and they're looking over at their buddies in the offensive meeting rooms and going, guys, just pull a little bit on the rope.
Give me something.
And we can win this thing. And you start with all the piss and vinegar in the world thinking we could do this if we get the breaks and the schedule breaks our way and we get a couple wins early, we can get on a roll, and who knows what can happen. Well, that didn't take place. The 0-6, 1-5 that we thought was coming is here now. And the defense has had an opportunity to see what it looks like, to see how ineffective the offense is, to see your rookie quarterback drop back to pass 58 times while he hands off 17 times. They're looking at the same thing we're looking at. We're frustrated. You think they're not frustrated? So ultimately, it will come a day, and I don't know that it's here yet, but there will come a day where the defense says, okay, we give, you win, we'll suck collectively. And I hope we don't see that, because that's the only thing keeping us in games right now.
Right.
Even though we've been blown out a couple of times. They are keeping us in games. So I hope that doesn't happen. A win Sunday can re-energize the defense, and maybe it can get going in the other direction. But right now, we've got to turn the ship, and we haven't been able to do it yet.
I've been hearing, this takes me to a bigger picture of something I've talked about for a long time. For the last 10 years, I have completely disagreed with this idea that defense wins championships, because there are no elite defenses, first of all. The idea that the Browns are even being considered as an elite defense is laughable. The Browns have a very good defense. They had a very good defense 2 years ago also. There's no such thing as an elite defense anymore. The last one you could argue was elite was maybe the Legion of Boom, probably. But the real elite defenses happened.
They come along one every 10 years.
I don't. Well,
I mean, before that, it was the Buccaneers. The Ravens had some elite
Giants.
defenses. The Bears in the 80s.
Yeah, but
it's about once a decade.
I don't think we're going to see it again, because unless the rules change, which they're not. The way the rules are now, you can't play that way. The way the 85 Bears played, the way the Ravens
No, drives now start on the 35-yard line.
Well, just beyond that, the way you can tackle, the way you can hit, you beat the crap out of guys.
But you shorten the field with drives starting at the 35?
Right. But you can't, you just can't win that way. And first of all, this Browns, that Buccaneers defense you talked about, there were 4 Hall of Famers on that defense.
Yeah, one at each level.
All right?
Yeah,
it's unheard
This
of.
team doesn't have 4 Hall of Famers.
No, we've got one, maybe 2.
They've got one.
Denzel, if he does it
I don't
long
think
enough,
Denzel's a Hall of Famer right
just
now.
depends.
I think he's a really good corner. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer.
Simeon Rice made the Hall of Fame, right?
No, Sims not in.
No, it was
Brooks, Lynch, Rondé Barber, and
Sapp.
Warren Sapp.
And Rice was very good.
Rice was tremendous.
They don't have very good.
Yeah.
The Browns have one Hall of Famer and one, borderline guy in Denzel. Now, we'll see what these young guys are going to do. Right. But even if they do become great players, well, they're not, they're rookies right now.
I think to your point,
yeah.
I think Myles Garrett is great enough to overcome the fact that he played on losing teams. Denzel Ward is not. If Denzel Ward was a corner on the Steelers or on the Chiefs, he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Possibly,
But
yeah. Maybe he would add more
He
picks.
will suffer at the end.
Yeah, for being on a bad team.
Because his team's always bad.
To be a Hall of Famer on a consistently bad team, you've got to be well above the line.
You got to be Myles Garrett or Joe Thomas.
Yeah, right.
And he's not.
And that's the thing. So I didn't think the Browns were an elite defense 2 years ago. I think they got overrated 2 years ago. Some of the numbers looked fine, but you didn't look into the reality of who they played. This Browns defense is really good. I think it's better than the defense the Browns had 2 years ago. It's really good. But obviously, you can't win. I don't care how good your defense is now. I don't care how good it is. You cannot win with an inept offense. It's impossible. It's impossible in this day and age of football to win. You can win with a mediocre offense. You can at least get to the playoffs. We've seen that from the Steelers for a bunch of years. You cannot win with an inept offense in the NFL in this day and age. It is impossible, and it doesn't matter how good your defense is. You cannot win that way.
And both.
Yeah.
Other things you cannot do and win.
Yeah.
The fact that we've gone about 10 minutes in this conversation, none of you guys have brought this up, means I know you haven't seen this clip, but Jake Burns from the Browns Film Breakdown, he noticed something that happened on Sunday that I think we have to address. It's a 40-second clip from Jake. Take a listen.
5 right here we go. Let me double check something. Okay, unless I'm an idiot, which I am known to be an idiot, the Browns are playing with 10 guys on the field here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Am I missing somebody? I am not missing anybody. Nope. 10 guys on the field on that play. Hard to stop NFL offenses with only 10 guys on the field.
That's funny.
You can't overcome some stuff like that, especially with an offense that can't score double-digit points.
Those are. See, I've had a pleasure of playing on a one-win football team. Those things happen because you're just not dialed in, and those things happen because the cumulative effect of losing shortens your tolerance and your attention span and what you're looking at. You can say, people always say, look, they're getting paid all that money. Let me just tell you guys about money. Once you start making that sort of money, it becomes relative. It's like, oh, I get a paycheck. It's like saying, because I get a raise at work, it means that I didn't make a mistake at work, or I don't check out because my boss said something.
The money doesn't make you work harder.
It doesn't make that. It doesn't do that for you. So the reality of the situation is, when you're taking the L's, things like that slip under the cracks because, hey man, we 1-5.
There were so many warts. We missed one big one.
Yeah.
If this was a 2-point game, and for the most part we were buttoned up, this would have been a highlight for all of us Monday morning.
Sure, yeah.
All of them.
We all would have caught it. Everybody would have seen it. But the thing is, it's like fish in a barrel when you're looking for problems with the Browns. They're everywhere, and that one slipped through our cracks.
It's just that's why I do say it is just unbelievably difficult to. At some point, even with us, we're not even yelling.
Yeah.
How many screaming matches?
Right.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be the arguing panel. This is me, Bull,
What if
and
that
Jay.
happened in Pittsburgh in a game they lost by a field goal?
Yeah.
That was set up by a big play like that.
Yeah.
Right.
But it shows that even we have become, I don't want to say complacent, but we are apathetic. The worst thing that can happen to a fan base, if you're a team, is your fans don't care.
Well,
and we care. I mean, Monday, didn't we do a record number of live views?
Record number of
views.
Record.
In a 1-5 season after getting beat by a rival for the 22nd time in their building. And we set a record. So I think what that tells me is our audience loves to commiserate in misery. That's kind of what we do. We bond together, and people wanted to watch everybody complain. But there's so much to complain about.
Right.
That something that would be a major issue for any other football team falls through the cracks.
And what's interesting is it's so we're only the Browns have played 6 games?
Yep.
Right? So we're 40%, as you said, into the season. Okay. Not even halfway. One of the great things about football coming back, yes, football is coming back. We love talking football. It's our biggest topic. But it's also the excitement of being able to talk about games after they happen, right?
Yeah.
And we are already to the point where when I don't know, you guys with your post game, when I did my post game, I spent this week very little time talking about the actual game.
In-game stuff.
It was all about the big
Macro.
picture. And that's what we've reached now. When
Yeah.
the team is so bad that it's like, we're not even breaking down what happened in the game.
No, it's not even.
It's beyond that.
You know?
It's how did we get here?
Yeah.
And how do we get out?
Hey, last year, it was so crazy because last year we got to a point where we do the post game, and it was like it was a foregone conclusion, and we up out of here. We need to get this done, get it out of here, because now if I think back at it, we've been doing the post game for all these years. We've won 4 games after 4 and 20 20-something McNuggets.
The Browns have
since the
lost
playoffs?
20.
It's 4 and 20 in the last 24, right?
I think it's 4 and 21, last 25.
So we've won.
You count the playoff game, yeah. 4 and 21.
count the
Well, no,
playoff
it's
game.
4 and 23, isn't it?
Let's see. They're
Because
1 and
we were 3 and 14, and now we're 1 and 5.
1 and 19. So they're what?
What were we
4
to
and
end the 23 season?
They
lost
lost their
it very
playoff
good.
game, lost last regular season game. Although to be fair, they were sitting their regulars, but it still counts. So
Loss.
they have lost 21 of their last 25 games, including